how to set up your board the right way, step by step.
All right, it's time to prep this board. So I've got a few extra items. Of course, I've got the board and the fins in the kit, but there's still some extra things you're going to need. I need scissors, a lighter, some rope, wax, and a leg rope. So this is all I need to set up. The first thing I want to do is make my leash loop. So I get this rope from a hardware store, and I want to make a loop like this. I'm going to trim it, and then I'm going to burn the ends here to seal the rope so it doesn't fray. Be careful it doesn't drip on your foot, because that stings a lot. All right, so that's my leash loop. On this board, it seems to have a leash loop here and here. This is the one you would normally use, but this one is probably much easier. I'm going to feed it in, and then I'm going to put the leg rope on. A lot of people do this incorrectly and they put one big loop, but what we want to do is feed, and by the way, this is I think this is a 7-foot leg rope, and this board is 7.6. Leg rope should be about the same length as the board. As a rule of thumb, if the waves are bigger, take a longer leg rope and a thicker one. If they're smaller, you'll be okay with a slightly shorter one. Just feed that in there, around through both loops, back on itself. And now when I'm pulling on this, the board rail saver is here instead of this. If you put this over the back, it's going to cut through a foamy like a hot knife through butter. So that's that part done. Put these away. Now I've got the fins here, but I'm going to put a little bit of wax on the board. Some people don't wax their foamies, but I think it can get a little bit slippery, and I'm not a fan of doing the splits. So I'm just going to do this quickly, making a pattern one way, and then I'm going to go the other way. And then you start filling it in. A board like this is going to eat half a bar of wax. I'm using a pretty tropical water wax here, or a sort of warm water wax, because the water's warm where I live. I'm not going to bother with a base coat. It's going straight for the good stuff. You can see this wax is disappearing. Oh. Gets pretty grabby, which is exactly what it's supposed to do with my foot. I especially want to put it here near my feet. And I'm thinking, where am I going to put my hands? I want to make sure I go right to the rail here and over here. All right. So this board's got a bit of wax on it, less likely to slip off. Pretty happy with that. Now it's time to put the fins in. It's always worth just checking these things that they look tight, because they do tend to loosen sometimes, in my experience. So we've got little fin screws here, and we've got our fins. We have 3 fins, and hopefully a fin key. So first job is to loosen these out. Now we have to figure out which fin's which. This one will be the center fin because it's the same on both sides. I guess we pop the front in, and that's sitting there. This is going to be a side fin. It's flat on the inside and curved on the outside, and the little slots line up with the screws. If you find it's very stiff to put in, you can actually rub some wax along the edge there, but this one will line up with there. The flat insides and the foiled outside creates drive, creates lift. Just got to pop the front in first and then push down. All right, and now we just tighten it up, but without over tightening it, so they don't pop out. Just let them bite the fin. I'm just going with the stock standard fins that are supplied with the board. One thing I've already noticed about these fins is they are extremely soft. Look at that. Big heavy surfer like me, these are just kind of flex, and I'll probably slip a bit, and that means I wouldn't take this out in very big waves. But if I'm in small waves and it's crowded, this is not going to hurt anybody, unlike a regular fin. If you run someone over with this, which can happen in a crowded spot, or if you have a kid, these are going to be perfect. So there we go, we're set up. We have fins, we have wax, we have a leash, and you'll see this is, well, I think this might be, it's a 7 foot, maybe 7.5 foot leash. That's about right. Let's go surf.